Hi children, good morning. Welcome to our next class. The next topic we are going to discuss about the different fibers. Before knowing this, some questions are waiting for you. What do we wear to protect our body? You know that obviously we are wearing clothes to protect ourselves. And what we are using to make these clothes? We are using fibers to make the clothes. How many types of fibers we have? How many types of fibers are available for us? There are two types of fibers we have. One is natural fiber, the other one is synthetic fibers. Natural fibers meaning the fibers which we are obtaining from plants and animals are known as natural fibers. In previous class you learnt about plant fibers like examples like cotton, jute. This all the plants gives us fibers, and the process you learnt how to make fibers and how to make yarn, how to make a fabric from the yarn. This all process you learnt in previous class. In today's class we'll focus on animal fibers. What type of animal fibers do we use, and which animals are reared to get the fibers from them, and how and who rear these animals, and how is yarn obtained from animal fibers, and which part of India and world are major producers of these fibers. These are the topics we are going to cover in this particular chapter, children. And you know, the other type of fibers are synthetic fibers, the fibers which are made from chemicals, which are made in industries and made by man, known as synthetic fibers, are also called as artificial or man-made fibers. Examples for them: polyester, nylon, acrylic and rayon are the examples of artificial fibers. About the synthetic fibers you are going to learn in coming classes. So now we will see what type of animals. So you understood now the topic, your content name. We are going to learn about fiber to fabric. How a fabric is yarn from the fiber. That's what you are going to learn in this lesson. Now we will see about the wool. Which animals are giving us wool? Wool we are getting from animals like sheep, goat, camels, rabbits, and there are different animals giving us wool. And along with the wool, the other fiber we get from animals is silk. Silk we are getting from silkworm. So when we talk about silkworms or silk, how the sericulture has developed, how where it has started, to understand we have a small story. I'll tell you a small story how the silk production actually started and who found the silk first time. I'll tell you, children. Long back, Chinese legendary emperor Huang Tai and the Empress Silong Chai were having tea in their garden. So great emperors of China, they were moving in their garden and they are having a cup of tea in their garden. The emperor explained to queen, and he said that, see, in our garden there are a number of mulberry trees, but most of the leaves are affected by some strong pest, and you can see the holes on the leaves, and this pest is destroying our mulberry trees, he said. Then the queen had a queen glance, and finally she concluded that that's not done by any pest or anything. It is done by a worm, she said. Some worms are crawling on the leaves, and they have a shiny home like structure around their body. That's what these shiny cup shaped structures only we are calling them as cocoons. So she found some worms inside those cocoons, and she said that so these are the worms causing for the damage of mulberry leaves, and they were eating voraciously those leaves, she said. And accidentally, when she was talking all this, all of a sudden a cocoon fell into her teacup. And you know, strong vapors will come when we are having a tea. Due to that hot vapors, this cocoon spreaded, and the shiny yarn was spreading on the tea, top of the tea. And she found that it was so interesting, and she slowly collected that yarn, and that way they started producing silk. And so many years they kept like a secret, and they did not reveal for the other world. So they started earning from the silk. So that's the story of our today's sericulture. Somehow it spreaded to the whole world, and nowadays sericulture department showing wonders, and instead of the natural killing the worms, even artificial silks also came. That's all the story we will learn in coming classes. Now when we come to the wool part, and there are different types of animals giving us wool, different animals we are rearing, and especially some animals will give soft wool, some animals will give very hard wool, some wools make us very warm, some not that warm condition can they cannot provide. But we are selecting the desired characters. For suppose this is a merino sheep. It has very thick wool, and so we will select this breed, and they will uh, cross breeding they will do. The parents selecting of parents characters and rearing the parents, selectively choosing the parents and rearing them to produce the offsprings. When they go for cross production, fertilization takes place, and the offsprings which are produced, they'll show all these desired characters. So in this way, selecting or choosing the parents and rearing them to produce the offsprings is known as selective breeding. So selective breeding process is going on to produce the best quality wool. So, okay, from the wool, the fiber is made, and this fiber, and then they will spin into like yarn by using some machines. They'll spin into like yarn. This all I'll show you by picture wise, and finally they will make the fabric, right? So now first we'll discuss about the animals. Which animals are giving what type of wool they are giving. So just now I told you this is the merino sheep, and merino sheep is giving merino wool, and it is a very good fine quality wool, and they are especially from Spain. This merino sheep is specially belongs to the Spain. You remember the country's children? I'm going to allot you some activity based on this what you are learning now. Okay, so this merino sheep is from Spain country, and the wool grows very close near to the skin, and they are very thick fur they have. They trap the air in between their hairs. That means in between the wool the air get trapped, and you know that the air is bad conductor of heat, so that it won't allow the body heat to move outside. Okay, so that so this they can keep them warm condition all the time. Understood, children? And now next we'll move on to the next animal, which gives us what type of wool we'll see. Famous merino sheep was initially found in Bikaner of Rajasthan, our Indian state, from where it was taken to the Australia and Spain. Now mostly found in Spain. And the next one is York. Which animal it is? This is York. York gives fine and soft wool, and this wool is brown or grey in color, and especially it is found mainly in Tibet and Ladakh areas. And yak fiber is so soft and smooth. Yak wool is available in two different colors, just now I told you. And the next animal, when we move, can you identify this animal? This is Kashmiri goat. Especially we'll collect the wool from the belly part of this Kashmiri goat, and only yearly once the production of wool is done with this animal. That's why it is quite expensive and very soft wool. Kashmiri shawls you had seen, right? So they are so expensive because the yielding is done only yearly once time. And it is so foundly on the mountains of China and Tibet and China mountains. This Kashmiri goats are living in these areas and providing this soft, great warmth wool they are giving us. And the next animal, you try to identify the next animal. So this is about Kashmiri goat, and try to identify the next animal. Can you guess what it is? It is just like our goat, and you know that goat and sheep gives us wool. So this is a type of Tibet region, belongs to the Tibet region, Angora region it belongs. So that's why it's also called as Angora goat. So Angora goat also giving us wool, mainly on the hilly regions. It is also found on hilly regions of Jammu and Kashmir. And Angora goat gives us very lightweight wool. It is similar to wool, but much softer, very soft wool, like monkey caps, mufflers. These all made from this wool only. Very soft wool. Okay. And next animal, you can easily identify this animal, very cute and so interesting to see. Which animal is it? It's rabbit. It belongs to Tibet area and so Angora region. That's why it's also called as Angora rabbit. Very fine wool they gives us, and you know they are very not larger body animal. It is having very small body, so obviously the wool we get a very less wool from each animal. Small amount of wool Angora rabbits give us. That's why it is very expensive, and so soft wool we are getting. Originally these rabbits are from Turkey region, so very less amount of wool they are giving, but very beautiful good quality wool they are giving. So these are Angora rabbits. So till now we discussed the animals, what type of animals and what type of wool they are giving. First one you had seen merino sheep, second one York, and the next Kashmiri goat, Angora goat, and Angora rabbit, and the next animal is camel. Even camels also giving us wool. Are you finding any difference between the picture what I am showing, this camel, and the camels in our India? Are you finding any difference? Yes. Our camels have only a single hump. One hump only they are having. And you learned about camels in last class. Camels are known as sheep of the deserts, and they have a big hump, and when the fat is reserved or stored in this hump, when it get digested, it release the energy for the camel. That's why it can travel without water for so many days in the desert areas, you learned, na? But this the camels which shown in the picture are found in Siberian, Mongolia, and China areas. So these animals, these camels are called bacterian camels. So they are different from our Indian camels because they are having two humps and they are giving very hard wool. That's why we are using this wool for making the carpets, and we will also mix up this wool with the soft wool like rabbit, Angora goat, Kashmiri goat. They gives a soft wool, so this hard wool can get mixed up with this wool and make the things. Okay, and the region is Mongolia, China, and Siberia is very thicker wool. So it is used especially for the carpets only. And last picture, last but not least, they are also very good wool yielding animals. They are llama and alpaca. These animals are found in South America and Argentina regions. So the fibers are spun from the fleece of the animal. Fleece means the coat, the body of the animal. So we use this, we get the wool from the body of llama and alpaca, and it is also very soft and keep warm and lightweight in wool. So these are the different animals which are giving us wool to make the woolen clothes and which are good for wearing in winter seasons. So understood, children? Now based on all this, and you can do one nice activity based on the understanding of all these animals. And you have studied that protein is a major component of food. You know that you learnt in previous classes that proteins are very important in our diet. It is also known as a bodybuilding food, no? To make our muscles strong, we need proteins. Our hair, skin, and nails are made up of different proteins are there. Similarly, fibers of animals' origin are also made up of protein. So these fibers are also the wool, whichever wool or silk, all these fibers are also made by protein. Okay, so the activity what you can do here is collect the pictures of wool producing animals. I am not asking you to collect the wool, just the pictures which animals gives us wool. Collect those pictures and stick them in your scrapbook or on A4 sheet and write down the region in which they are found. We discussed about different animals no just now. For example, llama and alpaca, South America and Argentina, and bacterian camels in Siberia, Mongolia, and China, and Angora rabbits in Tibet, Angora region, Angora goat, hilly regions of Jammu and Kashmir. Like this, you collect the picture of this animal, paste it, and write the region of this animals where we can find them. You write it, and also try to find out the information from the internet, how these animals are reared to produce the fiber, how these animals are taken care by the farmers or the workers who are growing them. You see in the internet and what precautions they are taking, how they are providing the sheds for them. This all you learn, children. Write it on A4 sheet. And in coming class, we are going to learn about how to collect the wool from this animal body. What actually the process goes on, how it is collected from different animals' body, and how it can be yarn make into yarn, and further how can it be woven or knitted. These all the process you're going to learn in coming class, children. So once again, read this content from your content textbook and nicely do the activity. Post your work to me, children. Thank you.